Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bricks and Dragons. Um, just trying to make sure I got my recording going. All right, so we are doing our third chapter here, or chapter four, actually. This is the Promised Land. This is Diamond City here. So we're doing Act One, a little bit more reading, a little less role playing from the looks of it. So let me get started here. Now, kind of remind everyone we have Marvin, which is a Mr. Handy. We have Augusta. Um, Byron, which is Vault Dweller. We have Bailey Big Smile, which is a ghoul. And then we have Happy Tom Doyle, which is a survivor. All right. And these are just regular generic uh, character sheets that you'll find in the starter box. And this is what we're running with. So, introduction here, kind of reading through. This is the final quest of the three-part introductory campaign here. Um, so, trying to pick up where we were. The PCs explore the wonder that is Diamond City here, and they have. We're trying to fulfill the promise to our dying survivor and learn more about the mysterious Gek and pursue the rumor of a promised land that would be perfect for the device's use. Um, Beware that at the end of the events of this quest, the player characters may create a new settlement using the device, or might instead escape with an invaluable piece of equipment so they or someone else can sell it or trade it to obtain personal riches. Um, this is the last leg. Now I'm going to divide this up into the different parts. We have Act One, which is all we're going to really hit here today. And there's a lot more reading in here. I'll try and keep this going. Trying to keep a little bit of track as to how much time I've got here in that. So um, now you have a nice picture of Diamond City. That's one I found online. I have a similar picture, not quite the same one, of Diamond City from the book, which would be really wonderful, but I don't have that here. Um, so here we go. All right. As the first minutes of twilight touch the evening sky, you enter Diamond City, known in the Commonwealth as the Great Green Jewel. The fortified city is built out of the bones of Fenway Park, once the home of the Boston Red Sox before the Great War. The walls are painted in distinctive green and are aglow in or with the light of neon signs and hanging lamps. Armed guards wander the settlement, adorned in baseball jerseys, umpire pads, and baseball helmets. An energetic young man wearing the uniform of Diamond City Security leads you through the central stands and down towards the city below, a cluttered stretch of ramshackle buildings, homes, and shops made from scrap metal. Up above, he points out, the wealthiest residents live in the properties built into the old stadium's upper stands, while the poorer residents strive to make a modest living on the busy and bustling field below. Dr. Rast removes his gas mask, breathes in a deep breath, and smiles. He tucks the mask under his side and turns to say, "Diamond City. It's one of a kind. I'll see about getting us a place to stay for the night. If you're exploring the city or visiting the shops, see if see see if what you can learn about Mika and this Clements person. When you're ready, you'll find me at the Dugout Inn." And with that, Rast turns and vanishes into the crowd of peddlers, settlers, and scavengers that roam the city streets. Okay, locals and outs, outsiders. The local population of Diamond City responds very differently to people they know than the people they do not know. Very much like in a video game. Any human PCs that are known in Diamond City are automatically reduced. Oh, let me reread this. Any human PCs who are known to Diamond City are automatically reduced or automatically reduce the difficulty of any of the charisma tests involving locals that are not friendly to them by two to a minimum of zero. At the same time, many residents are frightened, uneasy, or even somewhat hostile towards ghouls and super mutants. The GM can choose to add one to the difficulty of any charisma test involving locals who may react negatively to the ghouls or super mutants being present during conversation, even if those PCs are not making the test themselves. So, in other words, any test that you're going to have a plus one to this. Now, the only bonus is we do have one character in my current party because I have one ghoul and I have one survivor that I believe Tommy Doyle is from, I believe it said, Diamond City. Um, let's see, Tommy Doyle, nickname Happy by his friends in Diamond City. So the fact that I have Tommy here helping to talk to us knocks it down. So because we have the ghoul that's going to raise it up one, he's going to raise it or drop it down by two. So that means any test is going to be a plus one for me, which is a bonus because I usually roll terrible. All right. So in scene one, Diamond City, um, you can freely explore Diamond City without any problem. Um, any advice for game masters? I'll read this part off because I think it's good for anyone that's trying to run this. A good 1940s to 1960s soundtrack is the perfect music to play in the background while the PCs explore the city, representing the music of Diamond City Radio that pipes out across the town. Give the NPCs the characters interact with strong, fun, quirky characterizations allow the PCs opportunities to make friends with some of the locals, trade with the locals, and even make a few enemies. These social relationships can serve as great hooks and connections for future quests in the world of Fallout. Now, um, I've already stated once I'm done doing this, and once my group of guys are all done doing this whole campaign, I'm moving to a different campaign set in Wisconsin because that's where I'm from. So whatever happens here is not going to affect the group outside of this, whether we just move over there or whatever the case is. Finally, provide the PCs with opportunity to see firsthand the political storm brewing beneath the surface of the safe settlement. The local humans are particularly paranoid with unsolved kidnappings and rumors of synthetic replicas running amok of the synths because of the Institute. Now, we have a couple different areas that we can go to. We have the chapel construction site, which I'll read off. This structure near the entrance of the city is an unfinished mess of metal beams and assortment of different scrap panels. The equipment, equipment. The unfinished metallic ceiling lies in the yard before the structure. Painted into its center is an image of two hands cupped together in the words "All Faiths Chapel." The site is currently unmanned. A sign hanging from the empty doorframe reads, "Tap House tonight, first round on me, Clements." So, for us to go there, that gives us an opportunity to find Clements here. And that's walking right in. So, I think we would probably see that. We have the Chem Eye Care. Um, I'll just kind of read through these. Um, Not knowing what we're going to need, I think our main concern is we'll just kind of walk around things and then we're going to meet up with Rast and we'll go from that point. Um, Typically, once I know where I'm going, what I might need after that, then I'll worry about it. Okay, so the Chem I Care. This simple building has a sign above that reads Chem I Care or Chem One Care. I guess it's Chem One or whatever, um, and promotions painted on the walls advertise the chems such as Buff Out and Mentats. Leaning against one wall with a wide open array is an old gray bearded man wearing a blue cap and a stained white long sleeve shirt. When he notices your approach, he crosses his arms over his chest and gives you a slight nod. Um, and with that, we're just kind of walk on along. There's a Colonial Tap House. The Colonial Tap House is located within a large scrap metal structure surrounded by a single brick room outside. Several fold-out tables make up a small patio. Currently, the tap house is blocked off, swarmed by an angry and confused mob kept barely contained by a half dozen city guards in umpire's gear. Um, so we're just kind of walking past. We have the Commonwealth Weaponry. Commonwealth Weaponry is a small open storefront with a counter in the center, manned by a fellow wearing dirty green army fatigues with a dark complexion and well groomed salt and pepper beard and hair. Behind him are several ammo boxes on display, a duffel bag full of guns, and a door. A well stocked weapons workbench stretches along the right wall of the shop. Um, it has in here for a side quest if you want to get into it. Right now, I'm not worried about that. We're just kind of looking around. Diamond City Surplus. This simple storefront is a mess of shelves and desks cluttered with random objects. A heavy metal door in the back seems to lead to a storeroom. Floating at the center of the storefront is a nighttime shopkeeper, a Mr. Handy robot with the name tag Percy, hanging loosely from one of its ocular units. Um, Noting your approach, Percy intones in a polite, male robotic voice, "Welcome to Diamond City Surplus. We sell everything: stim packs, ammunition, outerwear, dinnerware, and explosives." Um, we have a little section here talking about selling and bartering. When pirate characters sell something, they only receive a quarter, rounded down, of the item's value. Um, Further, each trader only has a finite number of caps. The PCs can get around that by bartering items rather than taking caps, but it does limit how much they can sell at once. Bartering, when you're trading, total up the value of all items and the PC is buying and the value of all items they are selling. Then subtract the smaller value from the larger one. That's how many caps are owed the person with the higher value of stuff. Okay, so now we have Diamond City Radio as we're walking around. The outside of the radio station is a dinky metal trailer built on struts over a small lake. When the door is open, classic music from the old world spills out of the trailer. The room is lit by a pair of lamps covered by moth eaten lampshades. Inside is a messy twin bed, a few cinder blocks used for storage, and a desk surrounded by machines that broadcast the station across the Commonwealth. Let's see. Hello. Hi. Can I help you? Says a young, short haired man sitting at the desk, says as he looks up. He's wearing a red baseball jacket and looks extremely nervous. And then we keep going around. We have next one is the Dugout Inn, and then there's a Power Noodles, which I remember being more in the middle. I'm going to read the Power Noodles first. A tower, a tall tower of patchwork devices and scrap metal stands in the center, Diamond City. easily visible from afar. Power lines extend from conduits higher up in the tower, stretching across the city to provide electricity to its other buildings. A giant neon sign that reads "Power Noodles" casts a bright glow to the dirt-packed street below. Countertops and stools circle around the base of the tower, where denizens sit and use chopsticks to eat steamed noodle bowls of noodle soup that smells strongly of curry. Behind the counter is a compact bipedal chef robot that routinely stirs a large pot of soup. Upon approach, it speaks in a glitching foreign voice. Jesus. Nani Shimiko Kai. Translation: What do you have? And I'm sure I butchered that really bad. All right. And then finally, we're going to have the dugout in. So, through a courtyard that was once one of the stadium's baseball dugouts is a wide single story building accessible by a single door in the front. Inside is a well furnished sitting lounge with a long bar populated by excited, drunken locals. The bartender, a local broad shouldered man, flashes you a smile and goes back to pouring a glass of moonshine for another patron. Left of the bar is an integral looking man, or identical looking man, takes a handful of caps from a giggling young couple and allows them entrance to the rented rooms beyond. Okay. So once we get there, then we're supposed to see. Let's see. All right, I'm going to kind of read through this because this is where we're supposed to meet. We're supposed to meet over at the dugout. The dugout inn is run by identical brothers, um, Vadim and Yefrem Brovov. Yadam, the bartender, is a generous fellow who the PCs can purchase Barov's best moonshine from. Yadam is a happy chat as well, and we'll talk at length about the city and its politics. With themes like this, I'm going to guess that they come from a Russian descent, but Yadam claims to not have been, or not to not have ever met Mika or Clements, and has heard little about them, though he is a little apprehensive and avoids eye contact whenever Mika comes up. If a PC wants to determine if Vadim is lying, they can make an intelligence plus speech test with a difficulty of 2. If they pass their test, they notice his tell. Now, I'm really looking for um, Rast. So I'm trying to see if I can find Rast here. We have scene 2. All right, so scene 2 here. All right. All right, you enter the cheap room with stained walls and floor. There are two twin beds set out against opposite walls, and several sleeping cots lined up along the far wall. Dr. Rest is changed into simple clothes that make him seem more at home in Diamond City. He sits on one of the cots reading a political flyer announcing the anniversary of Mayor McDonald's election. He looks up from the pamphlet, folds it in half, and affords you a thin smile. So, what did you learn? Well, we really didn't learn anything because I really just walked around. Um, so that's really all we're gonna tell them. See, at this point, the players can share some or all of what they've learned with Ras, which we haven't learned anything. He has some follow up questions if there's anything here, which we don't have. All right, standing in the doorway is an old, tall, dark skinned man with a shaven head and beard. He is dressed in dirty work clothes beneath a heavy leather vest with many pockets that contain tools for construction and woodworking. His nose looks recently busted and is held across its bridge by a bandage, with spots of blood stained that are staining through the binding. He looks around the hall outside wearily and steps inside the room and eases the door shut behind him. Name's Clements, though I can't say I know who you are, he says quietly enough as to not be heard outside the room. Folks around town been telling me you're looking for me. All right, so we meet with Clements. So at this point, we could probably ask some questions. So let's kind of roll. We're going to do just a real quick roll here once I find my dice. Sitting right behind my laptop. Okay, I'm going to roll 3 of them. We're going to have Happy Tommy Doyle and one other person kind of help with. And let's see, I'm going to use my charisma and speech. So I have a charisma of 7, speech of 3. So that gives me a 10 or better. I have 2 9s, so I actually luck out in this one, and an 11. So I needed 2. That should give me something here. So, meeting Clements. Clements is careful when speaking to the player characters. He does not know who he can trust or if he can trust them yet, and why we have been asking around for him and Mika. All right. So with all this, let's see. Clements takes the news of Mika's death hard, and it is obvious that they were close. After learning what happened, he sits down on one of the beds and drinks a flask full of moonshine quietly, doing his best to hold back tears. After he finishes the moonshine, he will share the following information to the characters, which is what I'm trying to get to here real quick. Okay, so Mika possessed a Garden of Eden creation kit taken from her vault. It is a device that can terraform a large swath of Badlands into lush, verdant region, capable of supporting a self-sustaining settlement. Clements and Mika became friends after he helped protect her from a synth that attempted to kidnap her. The synth was posing as a local farmer named Terry Goodman. After Mika showed Clements the Gek and her hideout, they decided together not to tell anyone else in town about the synth. Mika worked obsessively to try to pinpoint the safest region to use the Gex so it would not cause any harm and would be protected by geography against raiders, mutants, and other threats. She frequently worried that by the time they found the perfect location, it would be too late to save her fellow vault dwellers. Vadim, one of the 2 brothers who owns the inn, struck a deal with Mika in exchange for a favorable trade deal once her new settlement was established. In exchange, he provided her access to a hidden access tunnel beneath the dugout inn that leads miles out of the city. At the end of the tunnel is a ladder leading to a surface hatch and a separate door that provides access to Mika's hidden fallout shelter, where she lived and collected her research. Okay, so with that, that's really the end of Act 1. Now, we'll pick up on Act 2 on the next one, and we will kind of go on from that point. So, really, we don't have much except for just story on this, which is fine. I did have just a little bit of roll. Um, Everybody that's been listening to all this, you know that I just do really bad at rolling. So I'm kind of happy I didn't have a lot of rolling today. Um, and we'll pick up on this. I don't know if I will work on this throughout the week. Hopefully, I will get the time in the morning because I'm working afternoons now. So just the way my schedule's gone. And we'll try and get this going. I do have another video up for tomorrow. It's a very quick, short video related towards our Star Trek stuff. But um, whether you watch that or you don't, it's just a little heads up. Um, as always, I really appreciate everybody that's here, spending time sitting around the pool table, listening to this. I know there's not much going on. We have just a static picture of Diamond City, and it's just kind of going through the story so far. But we're getting close to a half hour, and I've mentioned before I do have a lot of issues trying to get things uploaded lately. I don't know what's all going on, but and we're gonna go from here. So I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a wonderful day. At the time that I'm recording this is New Year's Eve, so hopefully you have a happy New Year. Take care.